Hello everyone. So China and Iran grown more closer in day by day when the COVID-19 pandemic is occurring with a more increasing way in all over the world. Why this is happening and what are the reasons that China and Iran are getting more closer? We know that two countries is the main reason for that. The first is India and the second is always US because China wanted to counter US, and for that they must have to have the partners like Iran who are the enemies of enemy will be your friend, as we say in the Chanakya Nidhi of India, and that is happening over there, that the enemies of enemy Iran, enemy of US, getting partnership with China, who is the core enemy of US because China wanted to be the superpower of this world. In this lecture, we will discuss that China and Iran relationship with the trade and military pact which they have been signed in 2020 in the month of July on 13th of July. So what will be the impact of that? We'll see, and how China is reshaping its international relation through Iran and Russia. We'll see in map. So in this map, as you can be able to see that the Russia, China and Iran, they are placed on the most important geopolitical place. From there, they can be able to access all over the world. So if these three countries getting together, then what they can be able to do, the potential of these three countries goes more dangerous because we must know that Soleimani, which has died just before some days, some months before, he has the potential to control the several like terrorist group. He can be able to command from the central place to the different groups, and even he helped US to counter ISIS. So such a powerful person from Iran when dies, then we must understand that the capability of Iran with the different places, and Russia, we all aware of that world's second most powerful country till now, but China is crossing over the line and wanted to be the first powerful country crossing Russia and US. So for that, China must need to have allies, allies like Iran, allies like Russia, who has the common interest against US. And when you have common interest, you will become friend. So China is trying its maximum foot on that ground so that it can be able to have allies against US. And when you have allies against US, that will counter against India because India is a democratic country which Russia and China is not there, and Iran also. These all countries are authoritarian power run by single man. So when you have single man power, you have authoritarian government, and we have already seen in the COVID-19 time the China response towards its people. As we know that China do not have democratic rights to the people, they just have fundamental rights, not fundamental, they just have fundamental duties for the people. That means you must do for your country, but in return you do not get fundamental rights from the country. So when you have some rights, something like that in the country, you can assume that what they wanted from the world as an authoritarian power, they all wanted that world should obey them. They will not listen to the world when they will come into the power. So now we'll discuss the fundamental relation and what is happening in the international relation after getting more closer China and Iran. What will happen? Impact on US and India. Here, China does trade with Iran from 1979 itself. And when they started the trade, it is just not a normal trade because China is the largest buyer of oil from 1960 itself. Now China buys 75% of the oil from outside world market and the largest buyer of oil after US. So when US started producing its oil from their country itself, they have gone for the third position. Now China is first and India is second. So when you have oil buyer something like that, then Iran is the largest oil producing country in the world. So when you have oil, you need to sell someone, and when you have the largest buyer in the world, then you have country like China. So China energy needs are much more, so Iran can be able to accomplish it. So from 1979, there is a close relationship between Iranian Revolutionary Guard to China Republic Army. So these two combined from that time itself, they know that the political and the geopolitical reason can be able to worsen sometime with the US. Then they can be able to have a friendly and economic relationship with each other. So by having that view, they are shaping themselves right now. But what happened in 2017? In 2017, September, China has excessively by the nearly 63 lakh thousand barrels of Iranian oil. But after getting the US sanctions, they have reduced their oil buying from Iran nearly to one third. That means they have gone for nearly 12,000 lakh barrels. So that is so less by the October of 2019. So that is the impact of US they have faced. But when there is enmity going increasing day by day with US and China. So China understood that now they can be able to side with the Iran so that they can be able to counter more better way to US. So that is something going to be happen, like increasing the enmity and taking the advantage of that. So because of this, China has much more benefits right now. They have the allies which is against the US, and the core fundamental values of China and Iran is against the US, against the democratic government and India. So India actually is the third buyer. But what happens here when India goes near to US? So the China goes against to India more better way, and as well as Iran, because Iran has got sanctions from US, and day by day they are getting the increased pressure from US. And at that time when you have close proximity relationship with US, then the enemy countries don't like you, and same thing happening with India. Iran is now countering on day-by-day comments to India and showing its aggressive way so that it can be able to worsen the situation with India and have a beautiful relationship with China to dance on the same stage. But we'll see what will happen in the future. Now we'll see what happened on the last day visit with the Xi Jinping and the Rouhani government, that means Iran central government, and what is the impact of that. So what here Iran and China has done, they have done the first sweeping economic partnership by putting more Chinese money into the Iran. By having this, you can be able to counter the US dollar into Iran, and by doing that, you can be able to remove the economic sanctions which are put it on the Iran, because Iran now can be able to have the yuan from China, and they can be able to go through all over the country to buy their equipments, all the things, whatever they need. And the second thing, Iran discounted 25 years of discount on oil to China. That is like a lottery for Chinese government because of the energy needs they are going to have in the future. That is heavily discounted rate. So that will benefit China economically very, very good way. And the third thing, the geopolitical concern is there, that China said that they are going to help Rouhani government with fight with the terrorism, drug abuse, human trafficking, cross-border crimes. That means China is now going to intervene in the Iran domestic policy, and when you intervene in the domestic policy, that means you shape your foreign policy together. And when you shape your foreign policy together, that goes to the Cold War era 2.0, when the allies used to shape their policy by having their major country concern. So whatever will be the China concern now, that will be the concern of Iran. So in the longer run, how that will help Iran, as we already know that China is an authoritarian power and they do not want other country to rise in front of their eyes. But when you need the enemies to counter your bigger enemy, you use them. That is what China is going to do, use Iran against the US so that they can be able to have the benefit which they wanted in the longer run. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching it.